Ivey going to play this one as a call, and this is pretty much exactly how he set up to play. Doesn't want to open the kings, have to play it against a 3-bet. That would not be the best with this type of hand with kings, so he's just going to go with the limp call approach, and a positive thing for him is that he will have position on Krensman.
And that is probably one of the most underrated things when it comes to any form of poker is position. But this is a pretty decent flop here for Krensman as we see him flop.
How much is in there?
Backdoor draws, front door open-ender. No pair in the hand here, but lots of stuff working here for Krensman. Probably wants to continue with his aggression.
Evan Krensman out of California has a deep run in this very event. In 2019, he finished 13. So now that there's 12 left, he has already bested that finish.
And Ivey's got to love this when he gets checked to. Not that he wants to bet, but that he can peel off a free card here and try to realize his equity and get to showdown because maybe his kings are good. And now this is a spot where maybe Krensman would be aggressive. Now, he probably won't want to check raise and get all the money in here if he does face a bet because he has kind of the bottom end of the straight draw here. But this is interesting because maybe Ivey recognizes that Krensman won't want to get all the money in here. But this is a tough spot. I mean, Ivey doesn't have a lot of work, and he's just got naked kings. He's got no other connectivity here to this board.
Well, action is on Ivey here. He has burned through one time extension. He does check back. 5 of clubs on the turn. Interesting card, you know. Ivey does pick up a flush draw, yes, but we know it's dominated by the king 10 of clubs for Krensman.
And look at this. Krensman has picked up, I mean, he's got the open ender with the 10-8, right? But he's drawing to kind of the butt end. If an 8 comes, queen 10 would beat him. He would play 10-7. But he goes ahead and he says, look, the 7-8 is very valuable here because the 6, he's drawing to the nuts, and he also is drawing to the second nut flush. So worthy enough for Ivey to want to see a river here because, mind you, he does have the 2-3-4-5, Donnie.
Wow, he does make the call. And after what looked like a rather tame pot on the flop is now swelled up to 3.6 million. And an ace on the end. Ivey makes the wheel.
The disguised wheel, and Krensman with no showdown value here just has king high.
It's the ace of hearts.
1.5.
And Krensman comes out with 1.5 million.
1.5 with a shaky hand. I don't know if you noticed that. And
listen, if anyone's going to pick up on that, it's Phil Ivey, right?
Like, look, these guys are playing for a lot of money. You're down to 12, 11 players in a monster tournament. I've never been in a spot like this, you know, playing for this much money. So I don't know how I would do, but those are the little things you got to pick up. Now, Ivey, with the nuts. With the nuts, what more do you want here? He's burned 3 time extensions, but doesn't matter. He's going to win this pot regardless of what he does.
Brian Willis dropping 5 PokerGo gift memberships in the chat. Shout out, Brian. Well done. Ivey raises. He's all in. And a quick fold out of Krensman.
I mean, we're all rooting for Phil Ivey, right? I mean, let's be real. Like, I got some other friends in the game. Ben Land's one of my buddies. You know, I don't know these other guys personally, but who is a poker fan that has never rooted for Phil Ivey? Like, we all want him to just dominate. And like you said, Sinishtaj here with a pretty good hand here. King 9 suited with the 10-8. And
Trina will do it.
Pot-Limit Omaha is a game where you want to see the flop. Your equity's never really going to be that bad. Look, we see a 60-40 right now against pocket aces, basically. So hoping to connect with the flop in some form or fashion here.
10-7-3, rainbow, 1 heart. I mean, for Sinistage, it doesn't get much better than this. And you guys can see the equities flip.
Exactly. Right now, he becomes a favorite in this hand with top pair and an open down straight draw. He can make 2 pair. And you see Weiss with blocking middle pair, so he's probably just going to put it in here. But he's going to have to fade a lot of outs. And his equity will shift back in his favor if he can dodge whatever the turn card is. And what he has working for him, he's got middle pair, so he blocks like the 10-7, the 7-3. He's got backdoor, straight draw with the wheel, and backdoor flush draw as well. So he's really looking for a 3 or a 7 immediately. And he could be drawing dead if his opponent hits a 6 or a jack on the turn that's not a diamond.
Diamond would be nice.
So the money is all in here. Weiss is at risk. Got the best of it with the aces, but as Tristan laid out, equity-wise, he's behind.
Needs a clean turn card here, or a diamond if it does connect with his opponent to give him added equity.
Sweat is real.
And as one of the combatants say, the sweat is real here.
Just setting up the cards here for the run out. Here we go. Okay, it's a diamond. Deuce of diamonds. Wow. Nice and clean so far for Weiss.
Still a 60-40, but now in the favor back to aces, removes a few of Cinny's outs.
And an ace on the river. That's going to give Weiss the double up here. He's going to go up to about 7.6 million. Series of poker. 13 remain. There are 2 tables in action. The outer table has Ben Lamb at it. It has Lautaro Guerra. It has Mickey Dueck. They're all out there at that table. The plan for tonight's play is to get us down to the final table, finish with, I don't know, 5, 6, or 7 players left. They'll come back on Friday, and then the final table will also be live streamed on PokerGo.com. So you're getting 2 days of coverage of this 25K buy-in PLO event.
This is a really interesting hand here, Donnie, because we got kings. Now notice the suits of the kings. The kings are kind of unsuited. We have the 8-9 of clubs. It is the best hand right now, but up against a very strong holding in ace, king, queen, 7 double suited. So how will Bowman respond here? With 20 big sub, he might just want to put the kings in pre.
Yep, and there he goes. It's in. Krensman makes the call. So we are off and running once again. Couple of quick all-ins here. This time it's going to be Scott Bowman. As I mentioned, making his 127th WSOP cash. He's looking to stay alive here.
$100, pick a side.
I'll take king, 8-9.
Okay.
Players are side betting on the action. Can never get enough action. As if playing a 25K buy-in poker tournament with 13 players left isn't enough for these guys. They got to put 100 on the side for the all-in moment.
Just the sweat, right? We're here. We're for the action, and this is a very good flop for the kings. I mean, the ace, king, queen, 7 double suited effectively whiffs. No pair, no draw currently. And you love to see this flop if you have kings.
Okay.
7 on the turn here. Things are still 80-20 in favor of Bowman. And an ace on the end. That is going to drill Krensman. He finishes with 2 pair, aces and 7s, and he is going to eliminate Scott Bowman in a pretty brutal fashion.
600.
Shakurchi taking the ace, queen, jack, deuce up in the form of 600K raise here. Out of position against 2 players who have already V-pipped into this pot. Ivey working with a mystery hand, but Weiss didn't limp 6-4, 5-6 to fold. And Ivey now on the button, getting over 3-1. Probably is going to continue to, but I guess it matters on his holding.
Just quickly, Ali B asking, is this a new bracelet event or has it been around for a while? It's been around. In fact, last year's champion, David Eldridge, finished 24th this year.
Look, Ivey is, we all want Ivey to win. We're rooting for Ivey. Look, that energy is sending him the nuts because he flops the nuts once again. But notice, he's got to fade a 10. There's 3 10s left in the deck, and he's got to fade a flush draw by Weiss currently. But who knows if these guys even continue against a bet from Ivey. And these are not the boards that you check if you're Phil Ivey. And Phil Ivey has a couple other things working for him, too. He's got the 8-6. So if his opponent does have a big hand, he can also draw to a full house, which is helpful. But right now he's currently playing the 10-7, which is the nuts. So how big will Ivey want to go? Will he want to go pot to deny equity here?
Pot.
There it is. Bilal gets out of the way. It's now back over to Weiss.
And Weiss here, right? You have a 5 high flush draw. You block a 6. You have a straight draw to the butt end. Really nothing else you can do but release.
Weiss does give it up, so more chips there for Phil Ivey. Play free online poker today at playpokergo.com. No deposits, no risk, just pure poker action. Jump into Ring Games tournaments. Don't miss the brand new No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes. Compete against players worldwide just like yourself. Sharpen your game as you go. Play for free now at playpokergo.com. Also available on iOS and Android. So check it out today. He announces a pot-sized re-raise here.
1.665.
It's a bit more than that.
Plus those.
1665 plus the blinds, yeah.
And so everyone is aware, I know I haven't said it so far, but there is a big blind ante in play, but the big blind ante does not count towards the pot pre-flop. It gets included after the flop, but it's kind of normal PLO rules where there's normally just a small blind and a big blind.
Ivey ended up having to fold King, Queen, Jack 9 double suited, which is typically a powerhouse of a hand. But he knows he'd be up against aces, so he just easy fold. And now in these spots for Aiz, he knows he's up against aces here most likely. And he also knows he's got a pretty good hand to crack it. I don't know what that was.
I really hope that was Ivey's phone. 'Cause he pulled his phone out, so I really hope that was Ivey's phone.
Maybe that was one of his sports better friends from the Pacers saying, look, we won game 6.
Aiz makes the call, Queen, Queen 6 with a couple of hearts. Both players have hearts. Weiss, of course, has the ace-high hearts.
And if you have aces, you're a little concerned about the queen-queen nature of this board, but you have backup with your hearts, and you have obviously have the 2 aces left in the deck to give you a superior full house. It's just how do you want to proceed? You almost have pot left.
1.2 million.
So we see kind of a quarter pot bet here, more or less. And he's basically saying, he's basically giving a little rope to Aiz, saying, look, if you want to get all in with a hand like you have,
All in.
I'll let you do it. And Weiss doesn't love this because he should be up against a queen here pretty regularly, but I can't imagine he ever wants to fold now. You still have a lot of equity against just a queen. Let's say your opponent has like queen, jack, king, 10 or something. You can hit a heart, you can hit an ace. So you're still going to have over 30% equity here. And look how big this pot is. It's massive.
2.7 to 0.8.
We haven't had it upgraded yet, but.
Weiss calls. Aiz says shit.
Oh, that's beautiful. Let's go.
And Aiz is now, I mean, you do not see this kind of equity in an all-in Pot-Limit Omaha hand. 90% to win this.
Good luck.
Aiz basically needs runner to make a straight. Or I think he has backdoor spades.
He does have backdoor spades,
cool.
yes. Backdoor spades, backdoor straight draws here.
If a heart comes,
Guess
it's
it could
over.
also come 10-10
Nine
or
first way.
Jack-Jack,
Exactly.
something like that. So, I
Exactly.
mean, basically, he just needs backdoors. He needs turn and river.
Run-
Runner,
or a
runner.
spade.
Yep. Runner, runner.
Or a sweat.
Good luck, mate.
Rooting for it.
And this is, again, why we talk about drawing to the nuts in PLO.
No sweat.
No sweat.
10 of
Oh,
hearts.
no. Straight flush out. Oh my god.
The 9 of hearts working, going into the
Swap
river.
those around. Swap
King
those around.
of spades.
More fun. How much?
Ace high flush there for Vice.
And that is a massive, massive hand. And pot.
Yeah, and with that,
flush
that
draw, I
pot, he's up over 12.2 million. He takes the table chip lead.
Right? Like,
For sure.
I know there's a lot of competition in this world of poker, but we need good operators and we need people to work together. We need the casinos and everyone to work together. So yeah, it's pretty awesome to see that. As we see Ivey come with a limp from the cutoff. So interesting, right? Interesting to see just shifting strategies at this point. We don't want to play massive pots. We kind of want to chip away. We know we're one elimination away from coming together at a final table. So it looks like Ivey's strategy is maybe not to play a whole lot of massive pots here. And he does have kind of a crappy hand when you look at the ace, 4, 6 deuce.
Jack 10-3. Rainbow. 4 players in action. Action checks around pretty quickly. 5 of diamonds on the turn.
Big turn card here for Talal. Makes a 10s up, 10s and 5s, but more importantly, drawing to the nut diamonds. So his hand's probably worth a bet if check to. But Ivey's
got
is
a wrap
taking
here.
his wrap to the streets. And this is a little delayed aggression. And Talal, even though he has a best hand, he's got a very vulnerable hand because Ivey could have a hand like 10s or jacks or jack 10 that wanted to see a clear equity turn card before he decided to pile money in. But I don't imagine Talal is going to fold with the nut diamonds in his hand as well.
Sinistage out of the way. Ayez now. He's got 10s and 3s. Also has straight draw with that 6-7. And he might be thinking now, listen, I just lost that massive pot. I'm pretty short. Do I just kind of gamble it up here and try and spin it back?
I feel like against a pot bet and another call, it is quite the gamble with 10s and 3s here. But I don't know. You're right. What does he want to do? I do not know.
He does get out of the way. So we're going to leave this one heads up between Ivey and Chigurchi.
I do think that is a good fold, given that really your only clean out is a 4 to make a 6-7 straight. And Boomska.
7 of diamonds.
There it
Ivey
is.
with that 6-4, making a 7 high straight. Another favorable river for Ivey, and he's going to check.
Notice it's not the nuts. 8-9 would be the nuts, and Ivey with no interaction to an 8 or 9 does end up checking. He says straight. Show the 6-4.
Talal's kind of like, wait, what? Like, come on, man.
And kings with a suit. Okay, so it was strong enough for him to isolate.
Ace 7-4, set of 7s for Vice.
I didn't even see that initially. I was just thinking of the range advantage Cindy has along with the 4, 5, 6, 7 working for him. So he does just pot it. And now here with second set, you don't love it, but you have to ask yourself, would my opponent really take top set and just pot it into me here? Or could they have kings with a flush draw or whatever?
No, it's 2 million. I said 1.9.
So, you know, you got to feel a little more comfortable when your opponent just pots it, because maybe they wouldn't pot it with top set here. And so Weiss is probably just going to get this in. And I don't know what Cindy's going to do in the face of a raise if that's what happens here.
160.
I would imagine he just gets his money in betting such a high percentage of your stack. You know, put 2 million in, you got 3 million behind.
Maybe. You're going to be up against a very strong holding if your opponent pots it back, and you don't have much else working aside from the 4, 5, 6, 7.
There is the pot from
Good luck.
Vice.
Oh, he does
And
call. Okay,
Sinistage
Connie,
does
you are
call,
right.
kind of with the shrug there, like, you know, what am I going to
No
do?
flush draw?
Let's run it.
Oh, open-ended. Good luck, mate.
Yep, thanks.
And Weiss a little surprised. No flush draw. Oh, you're just open-ended. So a king, a 3, or an 8 immediately working. And this is a massive pot.
Are we the kings or the
12.2
seven
million.
Clubs. Oh, backdoor clubs as well.
Backdoor clubs. So that maybe could have been the X factor there for Cine. Backdoor clubs is a factor that does add about 5% equity
Club
or
for a
so.
sweat. Make it sweaty.
Hey, it's enough of a sweat for my taste.
You look sure thing.
But I like this guy.
Well, Vice doesn't
Give him
want
a
to sweat anymore. He's got the best of it right now, just needs to hold. And how
Oh
about
my
that?
God, quad
GG.
7.
Quads!
That's my other.
You too, brother.
Good luck, mate.
He didn't want to sweat, he doesn't get a sweat. Boom, quads on the turn. Sinistage is drawing dead, and we're going to lose him in 10th place for $134,000. Play free online poker today at playpokergo.com. No deposits, no risk, just pure poker action. Jump into ring games tournaments. Don't miss the brand new No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes. Compete against players worldwide just like yourself. Sharpen your game as you go. Play for free now at playpokergo.com. Also available on iOS and Android. So check it out today.
And Weiss, we just saw 3 hands prior pick up aces with double suited. Here he's got aces with 1 suit. Ben Lamb seems interested, but he's very familiar with ICM workings, so I don't think he would want to play a pot here unless he has a really good holding. I imagine he won't ever repot it unless he has aces himself, and we do see Ben Lamb repot it. I mean, I think he's got to have aces himself. We see Krensman folding an ace, though, so what can Ben Lamb here? Maybe he is going with kings.
I mean, he could have a hand like an ace, queen, jack 10, you know, not that exact hand, but, you know, Broadway connected, maybe at least 1 suit, if not double. Could have
Got all the chips,
more of a
or-
rundown hand that
5.8.
doesn't include an ace. I know we did see 3 of them folded, like, you know, king, queen, jack 10, king, queen, jack, jacks, something like that.
The pot.
Vice comes back. You hear Lamb immediately disgusted.
Yeah, look, he
Maybe
still
Lamb
has
even has
17 big
king,
bags.
king, 10-10, king, king, jack 10, something like that. But he just knows he's up against aces here. I mean, Ben Lamb has seen and played enough PLO that he probably knows exactly what he's up against, and he hates this spot. You can just tell.
Yeah. You nailed it. Look, with 17 big blinds and some short stacks at the table, sure, he's put a lot of money in here, but I don't know. Let's see what he does. We obviously don't know what he has, but he's going to have a good hand. It's not like he's just bluffing here. We saw another ace be folded, so.
And he's going to go with it.
Did look like kings, I think.
Good luck.
Thanks. Double swatted.
Vice with the ace, ace, 9-7 with a suit. He's got ace 9 of spades. Lamb has king, king, 9-5 double suited. His
Single
spades
suited,
are
kings,
dominated. Diamonds are live, although Weiss does have the ace of diamonds to take away and out there.
So yeah, the 9, the spades working. You know, this would be closer EV, but not so great.
Jack 6-4, not looking good for Ben Lamb. 14% equity here to stay alive. 10 on the turn is some life.
Helps a little bit.
A king or a queen is what Ben Lamb is looking for. It is the 5 of diamonds, so we are going to lose Ben Lamb in 9th place. $170,900 for Lamb. Finest. You guys should also go to playpokergo.com and hop into that free roll. Again, it is the 1 million gold free roll kicking off at 10:30 p.m. Vegas time.
Yeah,
So let's hop in there. Let's battle it out. Let's see if you guys actually know. There's a lot of chat pros out there. I need to see if you guys actually know your stuff, okay? So let's go. Let's get in there. My name is Brosco. Come play with me. Let's battle. We're throwing down.
50-50.
Okay, speaking of battling, we got Hakeem limping a queen 9-8-7, double suited, and Ivy with naked
4.5 hours to
aces.
San Francisco and
Pots
then
it.
another 2 hours to here.
Hakeem already looking a little uncomfortable shifting in his chair,
Your mind.
but you don't limp
you.
these hands
That's
to
not too bad.
fold them
Not too bad.
typically.
Thought it was going to be way worse.
It's actually easier getting here than Europe.
But we do see
Going
Guerra
anywhere in Europe takes like 20
with a really
something
short
hours,
stack,
like UAE.
but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're going to take it to a flop, and Ivy eyeing his opponent while he gets a play in position here with aces. And we see almost a stone cold coin flip headed into the flop.
I just never had
10,
a need to come.
9,
There was enough
deuce,
games back home,
rainbow.
and then they killed all the games.
And look at this, Hakeem with
Casino
the
has destroyed
pair
all the games in
of
Australia,
nines,
basically.
also flops and
They
open
banned
in
a
a
bunch of people
straight
for no
draw,
reason.
7, 8,
They-
9, 10.
Don't let anyone buy in for like.
And also has a gut
more
shot
than
with the
1K
queen 8
cash.
working.
Someone's buying in with cash. Yeah,
Sucks.
and anyone who had like big transfers and stuff, they like just banned a bunch of people for no reason.
Imagine
Even, like, big
this is a
businessmen,
spot. Ivy doesn't want to
guys
build a
showing,
huge
like,
pot, so he does
hundreds
check
of
back.
businesses, like,
And
multi-millionaire,
just like that, we
big-
see
big
queens
companies.
up for Hakeem.
And then they
in the
ask them
lead.
for like where they get their money, their source of funds, and then they want like a full detailed report of their business.
Yeah.
They don't want to provide that.
How much is in there?
It's like
Sure.
it's their business.
Yeah.
And then they all get banned. Yeah.
So Hakeem asks us how
So it's
much
pretty crazy over there at
asks
the moment.
how much is in the middle. He is losing the king jack.
Yeah.
He is losing the
So they
jack
kinda
8.
ruined the games. That's why I started coming here 2023.
800,000.
December.
Ivy biting of the lip, looking at his opponent while his opponent looks back at him. And I don't think there's much happening here for
Thank you,
Phil.
casinos.
Folds. So
How much did you start with?
everyone noticed that.
Thank you.
Michael Dueck with a very big hand here himself. Covers the suits, although his spades are dominated.
1.2.
And he is going to min click it back to get Guerra all in here. But yeah, Raid-A-Lot is just a legend on Poker Stars. And a legend in the poker world here, as we know him as Talal now.
All in and a call.
Krentz very interested since he folded 2 kings, but this is exactly what you want when you fold 2 kings. You want someone else to do the battle.
Guerra has waited long enough. Queen, queen, 10-6, and his money is in the middle.
Only 8 big blinds, so this hand qualified enough for him to go.
He was able to secure 1 pay jump from 9 to 8 left with the elimination of Ben Lamb.
10-6 double versus ace jack 7-8 double.
Players talking to their rail, letting them know what's going on here at the table.
And Ivy just flicking a rubber band within his, twindling it within his fingers.
Ace, 9-3, 1 spade out there. 83% here for Dueck to score the elimination. Deuce of spades, though, on the turn.
But very big holding here for Dueck as he's outflopped the queens.
Okay.
9 on the river. We are going to lose Lautaro Guerra in 8th place. $221,920 for Guerra. A very, very solid run for him. He's one of the best PLO players in the world.
Okay. They
I
got
don't
to
know what
validate
it's
you.
showing for me as Brosco, but they told me that they changed it the other day so that people would know that it's me. So I don't know what's actually going to show up like at the table. But let's get in there and let's battle. Let's go.
So look, we saw a couple players here limp with some formidable holdings. Michael Dueck with the ace-queen 4-3 double suited. Surely he's not going to fold this, but we do see second and chips Krentzman with aces in the big blind. But I don't know. Let's see. I mean, such a big hand here from Dueck. And notice the limp strategy he's applied so far. He hasn't raised a pot yet. Kind of recognizes his middle of the pack situation. And Weiss, the chip leader, folds on the button, and Shakurchi also exits. So Two formidable holdings going to a flop. And this is a spicy flop. Krentzman holding the lead. He does flop a pair of nines and the king high flush draw, but his aces are currently qualifying for him. So he's playing the ace of spades, ace of diamonds. But Dweck just flopping a flush draw.
Check.
So no other equity here other than hearts for Dweck. No blockers either. But these flops typically favor the limping hands, whereas Krentzman's more towards the high card stuff, like the ace kings and queens and stuff. So we do see Dweck come with a bet here.
850 is the bet.
And his ace is working, of course. So let's see what Dweck has in store playing in position here as this pot swells up. An added equity here for Dweck as he turns a pair. This is pretty important turn card here. Now he doesn't just have hearts working. He starts to have some added equity in his pair draws, drawing to two pairs and such.
Check.
Right, if Dweck was betting Jack 10 or some other straight on the flop and he didn't bet the turn, he probably doesn't have one of those holdings. But Krentzman is going to play his hand as a bluff catcher.
2.7.
2.7 million is the bet.
And now Krentzman has a bluff catcher, but we go back to the point of what would Dweck check the turn with? Would he really check with his big holdings? So maybe Dweck is really representing like a lower straight, like a straight to the 10, maybe like a set type hand with this line. I'm not really sure.
Well, he's got the chips ready to go here.
Look, if you can rule Jack 10 out of someone's range here, that's huge.
Okay, anyone else?
And he does make the call.
Nine.
And Krentzman's, of course, going to see the good news.
That's a massive pot, 10 million right there. Going to Krentzman, clear second place.
Play free online poker today at playpokergo.com. No deposits, no risk, just pure poker action. Jump into Ring Games tournaments. Don't miss the brand new No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes. Compete against players worldwide just like yourself. Sharpen your game as you go. Play for free now at playpokergo.com. Also available on iOS and Android. So check it out today. And if I win this free roll, they're never going to hear the end of it.
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
I might fire up a new live stream just to gloat. Honestly. That's what I think I'm going to do.
I've never been so freaking covered.
Okay, here
Christy
Krentzman.
the mod did confirm that PokerGo Donnie is my name in the lobby of that free roll. So PokerGo Donnie. That's going to be me.
Uh-oh, Donnie. Krentzman being very active all of a sudden. Ivey obviously defending the big blind. Gets out-flopped here. Aces up.
That is 750.
Is dominated by the ace-king. Top two dominated by top and bottom here. How will the GOAT continue in this hand? He needs a lot of help here.
Call.
Krentzman even has the ace of diamonds working for him. Not that that matters much, but he knows that Ivey won't be drawing. But look, oh my God, Ivey needs a lot of help, and it comes in the fashion of one of the 2 6s that he needed.
I'm speechless.
Holy crap. And Krentzman with
This
top
turn.
2 could still keep value betting his turn, his hand if he wants here.
Diego Jose said, Ivey can dodge this. Well, he doesn't need to. He's just going to turn a 6.
1.5.
And Krensman going to his stack, 1.5 million, half pot.
Now look, Ivey is losing to pocket aces, the one combo of pocket aces. He's losing to 3 combos of pocket kings. But other than that, you beat everything else. Now, the opponent has bet half pot here, so Ivey just continues with a call.
A jack on the end.
Relatively safe river card for Ivey after turning one of his 2 outs. And now, what will Krensman want to do here?
More than 6 million in the middle.
You could still maybe get value from ace-jack. You could maybe get bluff caught by some other ace-x holding, but he checks it back.
He checks it back. Ivey rolls over the ace-6 for the full house. 6 is full for Ivey. And he scoops a pot of more than 6 million in chips.
And the chip leader waking up with a pretty good hand in the big blind. With all the chips,
There are chips behind.
will this get him pre?
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if this is enough to get him pre, but we're definitely going to see a
Call.
flop.
Call.
Vice is in there with a call.
Heads up.
Jack 7-5.
Pretty good flop if you're Ayez. Top pair, gut shot, couple overcards to the 7. Weiss with a double gutter and a backdoor flush draw. He just comes with a pot, and Ayez says, let's go.
5 is the bet. All
Yeah.
in?
Yeah, can't fold.
Shrug and a jam from
Maybe more, we'll see
Ayez.
in a minute.
Like 3.3
3.3.
ish.
So Ayez going to need an ace, a 6, or a
that's a
10
green.
immediately, or
Three,
some
3,
running
25,
clubs.
Good luck.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
in call.
What do we got?
Top pair, gut shot.
Good luck.
He's got double gut shot.
And an overcard. The ace can also hurt you here. And a club draw as well, working immediately.
Two clubs.
And the 6 of clubs comes right
clubs.
off.
That is the best card in the
Done.
deck.
Yeah.
Ayez needs so much help here. Needs a 9.
Four on the end.
Okay.
And one of the most
Good game.
happiest
Good game.
players at the final table is going to be eliminated there in 7th place.
Najim Ayez, $293,300 for him. Turn was a 5, I think. I bet 3 big blinds. Call. River's another deuce.
Okay, seems pretty good for your hand.
I jam. He calls with Jack deuce.
Jack deuce, they were gunning for you.
I know, it's just, you know,
Oh
they're
my
just out to
God.
get me, man.
Who put that nasty beat on Donnie? Please reveal yourself in the chat. That is ugly. Jack deuce. Was it even suited?
Yeah, it was hearts.
Still. That's wrong. Okay, look at these hands. We got some formidable holdings here. And Ivey asking the size of the pot.
50 more, 1 million, right?
I think he was saying, like, I'm raising the pot.
Gotcha. From the big blind. Doesn't really realize kind of the strong limping range here of these players. So we see both players with decent holdings. So Mickey Dueck debating what to do.
Here he called quickly. I
Oh,
think.
he did.
I was a little
Okay.
bit
Yeah,
confused
yeah. I was
too,
okay.
but
Thank
he
you.
called right away, pretty much.
Okay.
And then action was on Jeff Hakeem, who now is out of the way. So heads up here between Dueck and Ivey. Dueck in position. Ace 10-9 with a couple of hearts.
Oh my God! This
Look
is
at
a
this
monster
flop
of
for
a hand
Ivey
for Ivey and Dueck with bottom set. Bottom set with a straight draw.
I don't know how the money doesn't go in here.
It's getting in here, obviously.
All right.
Ivey says pot. Dueck is all in. Ivey is, of course, going to call. Cards on their backs. Let's go.
This is a huge flip here.
Wow.
Ivey has 19 outs. You can see him stretched across the top of your screen.
Good luck.
It's a huge one.
Want to trade?
All right, chat. Let's hear it. What are you going to call for? What card do you want to see?
And I was gonna say an ace 9 or 10 just locks it up, and it's just like that, man.
10 of spades on the turn, and that just immediately
4, 7,
leaves
5.
Ivey drawing
3.475.
dead. Play free online poker today at playpokergo.com. No deposits, no risk, just pure poker action. Jump into ring games, tournaments. Don't miss the brand new No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes. Compete against players worldwide just like yourself. Sharpen your game as you go. Play for free now at playpokergo.com. Also available on iOS and Android. So check it out today. I know he hasn't had a whole bunch to work with, but Hakeem is evidence, something that you and I have talked about before, but oftentimes at final tables, folding makes you the most money.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out, kind of collecting pay jumps. I'm sure he would love to get involved, yes, but he just hasn't had the hands or really the opportunity to get in there. So, you know, just sit back, collect those big pay jumps as they come your way.
Yeah,
Ivey here comes with a limp on this one, king, king, 4-4. Go ahead.
Even just looking at the stats here of Dueck and Hakeem, they're almost identical with a VPIP of around 13% and no pre-flop aggression.
A couple more limps. Shakurchi limped, Krensman limped, and Dueck finds aces in the big.
So no pre-flop
more,
aggression
yeah.
until now, where we see aces in the big blind with a suit, and Ivey, who had limped a nasty looking kings. He does have two pair though. No suit, but king, king, 4-4. What does he want to do? Is this good enough to just get it in? Run it rather than see a flop and have to fold. But no, we are going to see a flop first.
Ivey makes the call. Let's see if anyone else wants to get in here.
Talal with 3 clubs in his hand. Let's go.
All right, Talal and Krensman both out of the way. So we got heads up action, Dueck versus Ivey. Dueck recently doubled up through Ivey. That basically flipped the stacks of those two. They're going to go to battle once again. Queen 9-4 with hearts.
Let's go.
Set of 4s for Ivey. Aces and hearts for Dueck. Nut hearts at that.
This is one of those confrontations where it just goes in.
Dueck pots it. Ivey jams for a tiny bit more. Dueck, of course, quickly calls. The cards are on their back once again between these two. Ivey with his set of 4s, 67% to double up here.
Just got to fade the ace or the heart, of course.
Ten of clubs on the turn. 9 outs for Mickey Dueck. If he hits it, Phil Ivey's going to hit the rail in 6th place. Ivey looking to fade. It is the jack of hearts on the end.
Good game.
We are going to lose the 11-time WSOP Gold Bracelet winner, the legendary Phil Ivey. He's going to take 6th place for $394,531. And the quest for number 12 continues.
The kilo did it.
That's it for today, right?
Oh, okay, yes. Fine.
There
Mickey
goes the
Dueck,
legend.
couple hands ago, doubled through Phil Ivey, and then there he finishes him off.
Honestly, just chill. We could keep playing.
And with that, 5 players remain. Everyone's guaranteed
A
$539,000.
couple of hands you guys had there.
And that's going to wrap it up
kind of
for the
insane.
evening. You can see the payouts on your screen presented by Octopi Poker. Tomorrow, these 5 are going to return to battle at the Horseshoe. A WSOP gold bracelet on the line, almost $2.3 million up top. Dennis Weiss is your chip leader. Mickey Dueck second. Bilal Shakurchi, Evan Krensman, and Jeff Hakeem also in the mix. The stream will be Friday, June 20th on PokerGo, on the PokerGo YouTube channel, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. Ali Najad and Tristan Wade will be on the call. Tristan, it was a pleasure tonight. Always fun, sir. Have fun tomorrow. Enjoy Ali. I'm Donnie Peters. We will catch you guys next time.